What's going on, guys? It's Greg here today, and I'm bringing you a Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War commentary. Now today I'm going to be going over my best AUG class setups because yesterday during my stream one of you guys have asked me about my AUG class setups and if I'd make a video on this, so I'm going to do that. I'm also going to play a clip real quick explaining just why the AUG I can summarize in 2 words, which are please nerf. So I'll go ahead and roll that clip. Yeah, this thing is something else. Did you guys just see that? What? What have I discovered? Oh, no, wait. What have I discovered here? Wait, hold up. Alright, so let's go ahead now and take a look at the class setup. So this one is going to be our defensive AUG class setup, which we'll have a video using this one, and then we'll also have a nuclear using one of the other ones. So this one right here is going to have the 3x on it, and the main reason I'm using the 3x is because we're going to be posted up back further. We'll be trying to pick people off from range, and I honestly find that the 3x and the 4x in this game help out so much with range gunfights and trying to just control the recoil on weapons, although this AUG doesn't really have recoil with this setup, but just having that extra zoom is going to allow us to lead our target a lot easier and stuff like that. So our muzzle is going to be the infantry compensator because this is going to heavily decrease our vertical recoil while only losing a little bit of horizontal recoil, so a great attachment to have. Our barrel is going to be the 18.2-inch strike team barrel, and the main reason I like this one is because even though we do lose a little bit of effective damage range and idle sway control, we're going to gain some damage and fire rate, and I honestly feel this one feels really nice up close, so that's why I like to use it. Now, even though we are playing at range, like I said, it just doesn't really feel too much different at range, like one burst wise. So I want to have that extra fire rate. Now, like I said, if you don't want to lose that effective damage range and you don't want that damage boost or the idle sway loss, you can switch that out for the 18-inch rapid fire barrel, and this one is also really good. But it's going to just depend on how you feel. Personally, I feel this one just is pretty nice. That's just my opinion, though. I know people are going to ask me about this one right here, and don't use it. I personally don't like it. Now, the reason I say this is even though it's going to give you more bullet velocity, which is one of the most important stats in this game, I don't like it because of that recoil control nerf you get from this. So even though we have recoil control attachments, I'm trying to get the best recoil control possible to tighten that burst up so that way we're always hitting 3 shots into somebody, and that's the main reason why I don't like to use this barrel. Now for our under barrel, we have a Field Agent foregrip, which I think is the best one you could possibly run because you're going to get 40% horizontal recoil control and 10% vertical recoil control, and you only really lose 16% shooting move speed, which is honestly not that bad at all. For our last attachment, we have the Airborne Elastic Wrap, and I absolutely love this attachment because it's going to give us 30% more ADS speed, 90% flinch resistance, and we're going to be able to change our stance to lay down or whatever we have to do without losing the ability to aim down sights. So that's awesome. Absolutely love this attachment. Now we are going to have a little bit slower sprint to fire time and shooting move speed, but again, this gun's a little bit more about posting up, especially with this class setup in particular, so we're not really too worried about sprint to fire time. Our Gallo SA-12 is just going to be our backup just because I personally think that having a shotgun or pistol is going to be good, but for me, I have the Gallo SA-12 with the sound suppressor, reinforced heavy, 9-round tube, airborne elastic wrap, and no stock. I'm not going to go too much into the shotgun just because it's not really that important. And then for the tactical and lethal, stim shot and semtex, proximity mine, flak jacket, forward intel. Again, I'm playing team deathmatch, that's why I have forward intel on. If you guys want to know why that's the best perk for team deathmatch, I'll have a link in the description to yesterday's video, in case you missed it. Now, Scavenger and Gearheader would be my perk 2s. The main reason for this is just so we can get more proximity mines and just throw them around the map so people just trip them. And then Scavenger so we can just have unlimited ammo. And then Ninja because we don't want our footsteps to be heard. And Ghost because this game has crazy spy plane spam. So the perk greed wildcard is going to be the best option here. Now for our offensive class, I am going to just switch out 2 things. So one, our 3x is going to turn to the Millstop Reflex. And then our muzzle is going to turn to the SOCOM Eliminator. And the main reason we have this one on instead of the Infantry Compensator is, now, one thing I just want to make mention of real quick. Yes, we're going to lose more shooting move speed. but the whole point of this is just to quickly one burst somebody and then move on to our next target. And that is why we have this attachment on, because it's going to give us 85% muzzle flash concealment, which what that means is whenever you fire your weapon unsuppressed, which this is not a suppressor, so whenever you fire your weapon, you're going to disappear off the radar much faster than if you were not using this attachment. So normally you'll last on the radar for about 3 seconds. With this attachment, I believe it's something like 250 milliseconds, 300 milliseconds, not sure. ExclusiveAce might have a video on it. But yeah, the other attachments are going to stay the same. And then we have the jammer on this one, and assassin. That's going to be our changes. So assassin, so that way we can just earn more score. Since we're playing objective, we might, or not objective, we're playing a little bit more aggressive. We might die more often, so assassin's going to help us get more score. And then the jammer, just because, well, it's a great way to make sure you're not going to be showing up on the radar, and you can also get up close to the enemy spawn or whatnot and just plant this down, and they won't be able to see, you know, anything within that area. So great option there. Now for our stealth offense, this is going to be using the default scope on the AUG, and I don't really know if you guys care too much or care so much for the default scope, so let's go ahead over this one real quick. So the silencer, and I really don't care for the bullet velocity loss, and you guys will see it in the gameplay that it's pretty noticeable because it's going to bring it down 658 meters per second. But again, this is a stealth build, so we are going to have a silencer. I just find the agency suppressor is going to really hit us a lot harder and bring it down to 542 meters per second, which is just pretty bad. The strike team barrel still the same, field agent foregrip same, airborne elastic wrap same, and being stealthy, we're going to be on the move a lot more, constantly switching up our position. So I feel it is going to be a lot more important to have a good sprint to fire time while we are doing that. Now, you guys might be wondering, why aren't we putting that on the offensive class setup? And it's simply because I think that having the SOCOM Eliminator is a little bit more important than being able to sprint out faster, because you could just pre-aim areas where enemies might be. So that's my explanation for that. And again, everything has pretty much already been explained here. So those are my class setups. Now let's go ahead and get into some gameplay. Alright, so here we are, some Garrison Team Deathmatch, and as you guys can see, this is a late join. Now, I ended up getting a nuclear in this gameplay. I was running the spy plane, the armor, and the war machine. A very good setup for going for nuclears. You could also trade out that spy plane for the counter spy plane, depending on what you're trying to do. But for me personally, I like just having the spy plane on. Now, in this gameplay, I was using my Stealth AUG class setup, which, again, this was before I discovered the 3X, as well as, you know, the other class setup with the Millstop and SOCOM Eliminator. I was just trying out different things, and originally I thought this was going to be one of the best AUG class setups, but one of the things you'll see right here in particular is you can't really keep up with enemies that are moving at longer range, and that is because of its bullet velocity is only around 540 meters per second, as we saw in the class setup. So I'm going to highly recommend it if you guys are using this setup. You're going to have to play a lot closer to your enemies than you may like, but at the same time, we don't really have a nice optic that's going to give us a clear field of view, so it can be awkward whenever it comes to snapping between multiple targets. So try to use this class setup if you are going to be using the Stealth AUG. Try to use it as taking on one person at a time, because as you can see right there, 2 people, bullet velocity ended up getting me killed, and yeah, I just ended up getting outgunned there. So moving on, I do not die for the rest of the gameplay, and in yesterday's video we talked about armor canceling, and you'll see me do it right there. Now, I have gotten faster at doing armor canceling, because I believe that was actually my first time I ever did the armor cancel, and I discovered it there. But yeah, so I would highly recommend doing that if you haven't already added it to your repertoire of tactics. Yesterday, all I said was all you have to do is press the weapon swap button, and it will cancel the armor while you are putting it on. Now, getting to this AUG class setup, like I said, you're going to want to stick to closer quarters, and a map like Garrison is pretty close quarters. So this class setup is definitely going to dominate on this map, but if you're on something like Miami or Satellite, you know, obviously the one with the 3X is definitely going to be your better option, because the lines of sight are going to be a lot longer, and also the bullet velocity is definitely going to be something you're going to want. Now right here, I back up off of this guy because he is at the ladder there, and I know I have the upper hand. He's got to jump through the window or come up the ladder, and all I have to do is shoot a war machine shot at him and he's dead. So he really shouldn't have jumped up right there, because yeah, he just got War Machine, there's nothing he could do about that. And if you ever find yourself in a situation like that, it is a death sentence to just jump up there. I mean, you could try throwing a flashbang, you could try throwing a stun, but most people are running perk greed. They're probably going to have flak jacket and tactical mask on their class, so it's really just kind of a, you got to run away from that area and just run a flank. And you could honestly probably just run underneath and try to run a flank that way by going under the tanks, but it's just really going to depend also on the enemy's position. Now, right here, as you can see, I'm holding a lot of angles, and that's just really how this game kind of plays, I find. I honestly find this game to be a lot slower paced than Modern Warfare, so I personally think that, you know, playing a little bit more defensive with a class like this and just trying to work the spawns, especially in Team Deathmatch, because the spawns flip so often, that's really all you gotta do, is just keep patrolling an area of the map, and just, you know, whenever the spawns flip, then that's whenever you get on the move and you move to a different area. So as you can see right there, the spawns did flip to the other side, and normally I would stay there, but I figured they knew I was there, and especially because it looked like I was playing against a party, so I didn't want them calling me out and just getting a free kill on me. So I decided to run a complete flank around the map, took a guy out that ended up spawn flipping. Again, forward intel, amazing perk, it's going to let you guys know about spawn flips. And as you can see right here, I know whenever they are spawning in on the other side of the map, that whenever they are outside of my radar's view, because I can easily see them with forward intel. And I don't believe there is a counter in the game right now to this perk, so yeah, it really does help out. Now, moving on, right here, as you can see, place a proximity mine down right there at the stairwell. Reason I did that is because you can't prone out whenever you start running up the stairs, so if someone comes around that corner blindly and goes up the stairs, they're going to die to my proxy mine regardless of what happens. So at this point, this is a nice little anchoring spot where you could just sit here and pick people off that are coming through this area here, which is known as cobble, if you ever watch any sort of competitive or just know any callouts. But anyways, I'm going ahead and just trying to get a couple more kills here, because I know I'm 10 off the nuclear at this point, and there's 20 more kills left in the match. So at this point, I'm just going for easy picks with my War Machine, looking at different spawns to make sure there's no one kind of lurking here, and I want to make sure it was a full spawn flip. So I'm going ahead and I'm running back across the map here, and as you can see, that proxy mine I placed down at the stairs ended up getting someone. Now, this is where things get a little awkward. If you do have a War Machine right here, go ahead and spam it at that cardboard box to the right whenever you look out at the bridge there. And the main reason you want to do that is because you're not going to be able to really kill those guys, because only their head is going to be showing, and you have to expose your entire body. So I would highly recommend only ever challenging people there whenever you have a War Machine, or if you have like an RPG or something, you could just quickly fire it at that box, take cover, you know, reload the rocket, and then put it back. Or if you just have the War Machines, just spam it at the box. But anyways, that's going to be the end of this gameplay. Hopefully these odd class setups help you guys out, and I will see you all in the next video. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a rating and subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.